So excited to be able to be here today to welcome Monica Smith. She is the most incredible example of a woman that stays connected to not only the people in her life, but also to herself, and just really works on the inners while also having that outward presence of just belonging and love and trust. So I cannot wait to introduce you to her and just let you get to know her a little bit more and see how working on ourselves and really investing time, energy, effort, everything into what we are doing and how we are growing as a person that can just make a larger impact on this world and what we're doing and the work that we want to put out there to represent ourselves, to just serve others and be there as a constant support. Thank you for being here today. I'm so excited to welcome Monica Smith. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. And you just look radiant in your beautiful red sweater. So thank you for being here.
Oh, well, Tara, I feel honored, first of all, to be here and just having met you and getting to work with you and getting to see the way that you love people so well made me excited to get loved well by you this morning.
Oh, no, I love that. Thank you so much. You just warm my heart and you are one of my favorite people. So I'm so excited to be able to share you with everybody else. Something that we do with Just Connect Belong online and in person and with this YouTube channel, I just really want to bring people together and help them find the room that they want to be in and that they would like to be seen and heard and loved and just have this space where they can connect with other people and just good humans. And something
Mhm.
that you work with is our interpersonal development. And that is something that just goes right alongside with the way that we're showing up in these spaces that we are able to connect with others. And I would just love to hear a little bit more and for you to explain what you do.
Well, first of all, I think that's a beautiful description of how we work together
Yes.
because you are um, so talented at connecting people to the group and giving them that sense of belonging, and then being able to introduce them to people that maybe they couldn't get those introductions.
Hmm.
And what I love is I genuinely believe that as entrepreneurs, we are the product.
Yeah.
And so self-connection
Hmm.
has to come first for us to truly be able to represent ourselves in the rooms that we find ourselves in. And so when we learn how to truly self connect, we trust ourselves. And in that trust, we're able to show up. We represent ourselves. And then the part that I've always had trouble with, and I love working entrepreneurs through, is that we learn how to protect ourselves. When we look at boundaries, we often think, oh, we're just supposed to be no people. Well, what entrepreneur has the privilege of being a no person?
No, it doesn't work like that. Yeah.
No, your business would be struggling.
Hmm.
But what I do want to teach with boundaries is this is what I will do. This is what I will not do. This is what I will accept, and this is what I will not accept. And why do we do it? Because we're protecting the connection that we have with ourselves that says, I am showing up as me.
Hmm.
So, like, to me, this conversation is so important because where you take them in the rooms that you get them in, it's important that they show up as themselves and they trust what they trust that they're showing up as themselves.
Oh, that's so true. Thank you for explaining it that way and just bringing it all together to where we can do this and it's a choice to work on what we're feeling and the energy that we're bringing, the different things that we're doing and where we're protecting our peace as well and giving ourselves that permission to lean into maybe sometimes it is a little uncomfortable to put yourself out there, but really lean into the trust that you have with yourself that you're developing to be able to show up authentically and just be who you are.
Right, right. And what's really interesting, I've been doing this work for well over a decade. I think we're up to like 14 or 15
That's
years,
amazing.
which has been so rewarding because what I love about entrepreneurs is we all in our life have essentially four categories that we're working with. We have our relationships, we have our health, we have our work, and then we have our financial. So when we look at just narrowing down each of these categories, that's just kind of the human experience and the human life. But entrepreneurs have those same categories like everybody else while trying to run a business
Yeah.
and make it sustainable that they can live off of what they're making. That is a lot of pressure, right? There's a lot of audacity in stepping out. Like I still remember the day that I stepped out from my university position. I mean, I worked right under the provost. I had a very
Wow.
rewarding, somewhat cushy, because it was at a university job
Yeah.
where I was teaching my psychology classes, teaching my emotional intelligence courses, and getting to, I don't know, eh, enjoy the benefits
Mm-hmm.
of
Yep.
being part of a corporate team, sort of speak. And I remember when I stepped out, it was a pandemic. It was 2020 whenever I went full time because it had been a side hustle for a long time. So it was a pandemic. And also, I had just gone through a divorce after a 25-year marriage.
Wow.
So, and I had a child in college. So I'm paying for college. I'm starting this business. I mean, I look at the audacity. I think was I some form of insanity in that moment? You know, but I have entrepreneurs that have even more crazy stories than that, like had even more challenges and obstacles. And I think that takes a special person to have the faith, to have the belief, to have the idea that there's something in them that is so valuable that the world needs that they're willing to put themselves at risk.
No, that is beautiful. And thank you for sharing that story. And I just want to acknowledge how special and just something that you can share with others to even inspire them to take that leap because taking that, sometimes we do have to be a little crazy and just, okay, I'm going for it. Here I go. And having that fear, but choosing the courage anyway, really makes that just that much more incredible. And the work that you're doing and helping others see that in themselves too. Do you
Yeah.
have a way of um, explaining what it was that gave you that courage, or really was it just, okay, I'm doing it, here I go?
Well, okay, I do actually.
Okay,
It's
I
kind of
love it.
kind of an interesting story. And what's interesting is I've realized I'm not unique to a story like this where a personal experience has transferred. We can transfer emotions. So my greatest fear started in third grade.
Mm,
So yeah, I'm going to get really personal
I
here.
love it. Yeah.
In third grade in elementary school, I grew up kind of, upper middle class. And so I'm just in this really neat elementary school, great community. And one of these students, friend, I mean, I don't know you call him a friend in third grade. Like he sat next to me while I was learning, how to do stuff. But he said, your last name is different than your mom's last name.
Mm,
And I turned all shades of red in embarrassment because he said it in a tone that gave me a sense of that there was something different and bad about me. And I said, well, it's because my parents are divorced and my mom's remarried and she has a different last name. And he goes, that is just weird. And so I remember coming in from recess and I remember having this moment of, I am never, ever going to be divorced. Not ever.
mm.
Like I made an agreement. And it's so interesting because you fast forward and I endured things throughout a marriage that I shouldn't have.
Mm.
Um, by the time that I was exiting that 27-year relationship, 25-year marriage, uh, my dignity and the way that I felt about myself and my own self-connection was so deeply damaged. And so I had all the head tools because here I wrote emotional intelligence programs for two different universities for their school of business. Like I had the head knowledge, but I had not faced my biggest fear, which was could I apply the head knowledge of self-awareness actually leading to self-management?
Mm.
Could I apply that knowledge and get over my heart problem, which was fear? And so when I stepped out and said, no, I deserve more and I need to connect to myself. And I also owe it to my daughter to show her more, show her what love looks like. So it's really interesting that facing that fear, facing the thing that scared me more than anything else in my life, right? Facing that fear. Now, since I've developed new fears, because that's what we do, but facing that fear
Yeah.
is what really transferred into, well, if I can do that, I can do what I really want to do, which is work with people like me who believe that they've got something in them that is worth sharing with the world and is okay to take the risk.
That
So
is
that's my crazy
beautiful.
story.
No, I love it. Thank you so much. It leaves me speechless because even you thinking all the way back to third grade in a conversation with a little boy saying something about your last name has
Yeah.
really transpired into this beautiful story of courage and trust and love for yourself too, and moving into that. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you diving deep. I love that. Deeper
Thanks.
conversations are my favorite. So
Yeah. And it took a long time. You know, that's one of the
yeah.
things that I hear a lot from my clients is they'll say, this process is taking too long.
Hmm.
Like you just learned it and you just like stepped out and you've taken empowerment therapy to a whole new model and you've done all these things. And I'm like, oh no, 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 no. It did not happen overnight. We've got the fear in third grade. And then when I had a child myself, I actually, my first entrepreneurial endeavor, well, not first, my first one that was actually big enough to be talked about,
Okay.
um, because some of my small little, like I've always had this weird, crazy side thing going on.
Mhm.
So my first big thing was the child of divorce, and I did a nonprofit for children of divorce
Oh,
and wrote two children's books, wanting to really help children of divorce connect to their own story and have characters. I think that's something we have in common, right? That we both have
yes.
undergrad in teaching.
Yes, we do.
Yes. So, and it was fun how I was able to use that. And really, I was looking at internal connection then, and that's part of what sent me back to grad school to get that master's in counseling and psychology is because I realized I was like, oh, I'm really interested in this pursuit of self-connection and being able to share our story from an authentic place and to be able to change beliefs that we didn't get to decide that belief early on, right? And but we do get to dispute it and we get to change it as an adult. And so, which I get to do that a lot with clients, and that is incredibly rewarding. So probably too complex an answer, but
No, not at all.
get
Nothing
all
is
of me
too
if you're going
complex.
to interview me.
I love it. No, I truly appreciate the way that you lean into every facet of how it has felt and your story and what you've been through, because the more we can share, the more people will not feel alone in what they're going through. And maybe someone doesn't have the exact same story that you do, but they can relate to that so well to then understand. that it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be something that you fear forever, or obviously things evolve and change and new fears develop, and we combat those as well. But we have a way to really connect with ourselves. And something that you offer that I have truly enjoyed and just getting to know you is having your self-connection course, or I just walk through some of that you have on the school platform. So I would love for you to just share how somebody could start connecting to themselves. And obviously, yes, they can work with you one-on-one, and there are many ways to work with you, but I know you have this set up for people that are just starting to learn about this because sometimes that's a foreign concept.
Right. And what I love about the school community, that SKOOL, which,
Yes.
I had people say, "Oh, I didn't realize you were back with the university." I'm like, no, no, not that school,
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
school. But that
Mhm.
was super helpful. Having been at the university, I really understood how to set up that platform,
Yeah.
which was great. But what I love about school is it gives anybody the opportunity for such a minimal cost to go in and do, like, one of my favorite courses is 30 days to self-connection.
Yes.
Because you're seeing the videos, you're going through and you're doing the work, which I'm a firm believer in guided journaling.
Mm.
I want to guide you with psychoeducation, and I want to guide you because we do know the value of journaling, but we also know in the psychology world, we know that a lot of people are re-traumatizing themselves through journaling. And so if you're left to your own um, thoughts and
Yeah.
feelings, and those thoughts and feelings are distorted because of the lens of trauma or experiences that you've had, you might be re-traumatizing yourself. So I love the concept of clients or anyone actually coming on and going through and learning how to journal with a professional to teach them how to think a little bit differently, and most importantly, how to have some acceptance with themselves and their inner dialogue and their inner parts so that they can truly connect in a way that is personal to them. And, maybe we don't have to spend the kind of money to get that one-on-one support. Maybe that's enough for them. And they realize, okay, I just needed a little guidance to be able to connect. And then they can have those benefits for, I don't know what my site is, what it cost. I think it's like $24 or something.
Mhm.
But it's a nominal fee. And it's also a way for me to, I love developing courses. That is definitely the educator in me.
Yes.
And I love being able to house all of that in one place as I'm developing them. And then those offerings being wherever an entrepreneur, or really anyone for that matter, wherever they are, if you struggle with self-connection, then maybe your $24 a month is a great place to start to
Yeah.
see if you need to dive a little deeper.
Mhm. And the questions that you're asking are truly something that makes you dive deep and really think about. And I've noticed myself as I was going through it, some of them were a little bit more surface level answers. And when I went back, I was able to draw on that because I'm somebody who doesn't always think of the thing that I want to say immediately, or sometimes I have
Oh
to
my
take some
gosh.
time to ponder on that. So I love to just go back, and it's so nice that it's self-paced, and the work that you have put into that applies to both business and life because it applies to us as a whole human being. So it's so
Oh,
special. And thank you for sharing your gifts with us and all of the things that you have poured into that specific site on school too. So
well,
I'm
and on the
excited.
flip to you, I want you to know your school site
Oh.
has helped me because, as we all know as entrepreneurs, we can get really lonely and siloed.
Mhm.
And so, having the other entrepreneurs that you're connecting with on your site, that are having their own struggles and their businesses being different than mine,
Yeah.
it has been so encouraging because I really appreciate that. So it's interesting that we both have this
Mhm.
desire for connection
Yes.
and keeping people emotionally safe and cared for,
Hmm.
but it's done differently. And I've benefited immensely from your site. So thank you for building one yourself.
Well, thank
Been
you.
great.
I appreciate that so much. That was one of my next questions of just what really inspires you to keep helping others or to be in these rooms where you can have these conversations.
Well, of course, there's always the when you're working with a client and you see the spark in their
Yes.
face go, oh, that's what that is. Because at heart, I'm a problem solver. So you give me a people problem, whether it be within yourself or
Mhm.
whether it be your relationships. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to dive in and get to the bottom of let's figure that people problem out and solve it. So that is inspiring and keeps me energized. I've had lots of people over the years say, "Aren't you just exhausted at the end of the day?" And I'm like, "Not usually. Sometimes I am."
Yeah.
But usually it's very exciting because these have been some small changes that have led to massive changes. And I love seeing that change. You have really, though, enlightened me to the idea. I've not necessarily been one to see myself needing a community of being
Ah,
supported. And I have to say, when I get on your site and I'm able to just have those conversations in the community, it's so nice because I'm like, I'm not in charge. I'm not leading anything. And I get to kind of say, hey, this part of running a business is hard.
it's so
Like, it's just hard.
Mhm. I love that you have noticed that being poured into is also just as important as pouring out into others. And I am right there with you with that. And I also, just from our conversations, we have had just finding ways to just know you're not alone. Like that
Yeah.
sense of belonging, that sense of connection. And even if it is just a, how's everybody doing today? And just say it like it is, or whatever that may be. And it could be sometimes that it is something with home or kids or family in some way. Or maybe it's just that somebody said no to an offer that you were super excited for and just even if we're in different realms of business, different seasons of life, we can still find ways to relate to one another. And I just appreciate that you have been able to do that as well. And I'm so happy you're feeling poured into and just coming back to that space where you don't have to have all the answers or you don't have to figure it all out, but we're there to do that together. And just, I always explain it as like we're linking arms. No one's meant, even myself
Yeah.
having the site and creating it, I'm not meant to be above you or pushing you or anything. It's meant to be walking alongside one another and just really encouraging, holding each other accountable and moving
Yeah.
forward. So I just appreciate that that's what you do. And it's just been such a joy to get to know you over these last few years. And I can't
Yeah.
wait for now more people to know about you and to just share more about what you're doing and the beautiful things. Where can we find you? I'll tag everything in the comments below and the description, but I would love for you to share with us.
So there is monicasmithcoaching.com and then there's empowermecc.com. So there's a landing page there. I love the Empower Me on School and also just find me on LinkedIn. I have Empower Me Coaching and Counseling page on LinkedIn. There's
Great.
Monica Smith on LinkedIn. But anybody can reach out, any of those social media platforms. I'm also obviously I've been trying my hand at TikTok, which
I love
has
it.
been hilarious. Um,
Good for you. We have to have fun
so
with these things sometimes. Come on.
yes, yes, I've learned. I've learned just to not take myself so seriously and recognize that mental and emotional strength and wellness doesn't always have to be serious. We can sometimes have a little bit of fun with it. But just I feel like, man, I'm too old for that. But
No,
it
no,
is
no,
what it is.
no. We're never too old to start. I'm sure you've seen all those things where Martha Stewart started so much later in life and this person and this person. So it's just wherever you are is the perfect place to start. So
I love
I
that.
am just so honored that you took the time to be with me today, and I can't wait for everybody to have just a little bit of Monica in their life. So I love you,
Oh,
sweet friend, and thank you for
oh my
being
goodness.
here.
I love you right back. And
Thank you.
I just appreciate so much what you're doing for the entrepreneur community and the way that you are really building that sense of belonging.
Thank you.
And thank you for always making me feel like I belong in your life because yeah, I treasure it and I do not take it for granted. So you are
I
a
appreciate you so much, and I feel exactly the same about you. And thank you for just being that constant support and listener and all of the things great. So, thank
back at you.
you.